water is okay?
Okay.
No, okay. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopichana Vallabha Girivaradhari Gopichana Vallabha Girivaradhari Yasaranandana Vajajanaranjana Yasaranandana Vajajanaranjana Chamunahira Panashari Chamunahira Panashari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada. Śrī Prabhupada ki jai. Jayam Vishnupad Paramahansa Paripajakatāya Stuta Sadashi Śrīmad Bhaktivedanta Swami Śrī Prabhupada ki jai. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to Shri Guru and Gauranga. We're reading from Bhagavad Gita, chapter 6, verse 41. Prāpya puṇya-kṛtāṁ lokān, uṣitvā śāśvatīḥ samāḥ, śucīnāṁ śrī-matām gehe, yoga-bhraṣṭo bhijāyate. Translation by Srila Prabhupada. The unsuccessful yogi, after many, many years of enjoyment on the planets of the pious living entities, is born into a family of righteous people or into a family of rich aristocracy. Purport. The unsuccessful yogis are divided into two classes. One is fallen after very little progress, and one is fallen after long practice of yoga. Yogi who falls after a short period of practice goes to the higher planets, where pious living entities are allowed to enter. After prolonged life there, one is sent back again to this planet to take birth in the family of a righteous Brahmana, Vaishnava, or of aristocratic merchants. The real purpose of yoga practice is to achieve the highest perfection of Kṛṣṇa consciousness, as explained in the last verse of this chapter. But those who do not persevere to such an extent, and who fall because of material allurements, are allowed by the grace of the Lord to make full utilization of their material propensities. And after that, they are given opportunities to live prosperous lives in righteous or aristocratic families. Those who are born in such families may take advantage of the facilities and try to elevate themselves to full Kṛṣṇa consciousness. Mukam karati vachalam vangam langate girim yakipam tabham bande si gurudinatarinam Om Gyana Timirandasya Gananjara Shalakaya Chakshuritam Yena Tasamai Shri Gurave Namaha. So, all of us came to Kṛṣṇa consciousness because something attracted us here. It is described in the 10th canto, Prayers of Lord Brahma, that the scientists may someday be able to count the atoms of the earth, or they may be able to count how many molecules are there in the sunlight, or they may be able to count how many snowflakes there are in the winter. But they will never be able to count how many qualities Kṛṣṇa has. He has so many qualities. Anantashesha has counted the atoms of the earth. He has counted the molecules of the sunlight. He has counted the snowflakes, but he has not been able to count the qualities of Kṛṣṇa. You know why? Kṛṣṇa has so many qualities. It's explained by Sanatana Goswami that for each and every jiva, Kṛṣṇa has one special quality that will attract us to him. That is a fact. So count how many jivas there are in this universe, in the spiritual world. That's how many qualities Kṛṣṇa has, and even more. Because Anantashesh has 1,000 heads, and he's been counting since the beginning, and he can't find how many qualities there are of Kṛṣṇa. So some of us were attracted by the Hare Krishna chanting. We liked the kirtan, we liked the japa. I used to be a musician, and so I was very trained to hear the sound. But when I heard the sound of Hare Krishna, I thought, wow, this is the perfect sound. When I was a musician, I was trying to understand the emotions, trying to communicate with the musicians of the past. I was a classical musician. But when I was chanting Hare Krishna, trying to communicate with God. Yes, this is the best sound, and this is the best thing to do. I was also attracted by the books, Prabhupada's books. When I was a child, I started, at the age of 7, I started going to the library, and I would bring 10 books every week and read all of the books and go back and get more 10 books the next week. And my goal was to read the whole library. But I got Prabhupada's books, and then I finished with the library. And because Prabhupada's books, you can read not just one time. You can read so many times, and each time you read, you will find something new. So the books, the chanting, the pictures of the spiritual world, can you imagine? Can you imagine? The deities, so beautiful, so many flowers, so many beautiful clothes. These are things that attract us. And also, especially, I was attracted by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada, his words, his example, his love, his glance, everything was so attractive about Srila Prabhupada that we just fell in love with him. Everybody did, all the devotees. So there was one man who lived in Germany. He was coming to temple, and devotees say, "Why don't you stay here?" He says, no, I'm a boxer. You know, he's a fighter, and I'm very attached to my fighting. So then one time Prabhupada came, and he came to see Prabhupada at the temple. And Prabhupada was leaving. As he was leaving, Prabhupada was in his car. And this boxer is pushed by the crowd, and his face was on the window of the car, Prabhupada's car. And Prabhupada glanced at him, and that was it. He says, okay, I'm joining. I'm going to join the temple now. They said, well, the devotee said, what about your boxing? He said, no, after a glance like that from Srila Prabhupada, how can I go back to my boxing? So the glance of the pure devotee is enough to make you give up everything. So Kṛṣṇa also is giving us his glance. If you go to the temple, you can get the glance of Kṛṣṇa. What's in the glance of Kṛṣṇa? What happens when Kṛṣṇa looks at you? He creates desires for devotional service in your heart. And what happens when Kṛṣṇa smiles at you? He protects those desires, so you don't lose those spiritual desires. So people think you renounce everything when you have nothing. But in Bhagavatam, the story of Maharaj Bharat, he was emperor of the whole world. He had everything, but he left everything. So it's normally, if somebody is very qualified, like our Maharaj Ambarish, he has so much money, but he didn't leave the money, but he brought it with him to give to Kṛṣṇa. So that's what we do. If we have something that's very valuable in this world, then if you put Kṛṣṇa in, it's like a zero actually. Prabhupada said it's all zeros. But if you put Kṛṣṇa in front, you put one in front of all those zeros, then you get lots of value. So Ambarish did that, and so our TOVP is being built in Mayapur. So Kunti Devi says, Janmaishraya Shuti Shabir, Etamana Madapuman, that if someone has a high birth, or a lot of money, or he's very educated, or very beautiful, very hard to chant Hare Krishna feelingly. So we want to chant Hare Krishna feelingly. And the way to do that is given to us by Lord Chaitanya in Shikshastaka. Ainantatanu chakinkaram patitamam vishame bhavam buddha kripaya tava parapankaja stita tuli śrīsham vichintaya. Oh, son of Maharaj Nanda, please, I've fallen into this ocean of material existence. Please pick me up and place me as an atom of dust at your lotus feet. So how can devotees give up all the things of this world to serve Kṛṣṇa? It's just like a child. When a child is small, he has toys to play with, a toy car, a toy bus, a toy truck. When he grows up, he doesn't care for the toys anymore. He wants a real car and a real truck and all these things. So devotee, when he comes to Kṛṣṇa consciousness, he doesn't want the material things which are just like toys. He wants the real thing, and that is Kṛṣṇa. So one book distributor was in Ireland, and he sold a book to a man. The man said, you know, the happiest day of my life was when I got my boat. Because in Ireland, there's so many rivers and lakes, so everybody has a boat. And then he said, but after I got my boat, the happiest day of my life is when I sold my boat, because it was giving me so much trouble to maintain. And I was more happy when I sold my boat. So that's how the things in this world are. They give us temporary happiness, but after a while, we don't care for them anymore. And also, we try to enjoy. I was in Hawaii, the best place for all the beaches, but I went into the water, and so much seaweed. You could not swim. So you cannot enjoy, even in the best beaches in the world. And so we come to Kṛṣṇa. But why do we leave Kṛṣṇa? Why do we leave? Maharaj Bharat, he came, he was Kṛṣṇa conscious, but then he left. He got attached to a deer. So Narada Muni instructs Vyasadeva, Chaktas Dharmam Charanam Bhajamare Bhajan Lapakva Tapatetato Yadi Yatakava Bhatra Mabuta Mushikim Gavarta Abja Bachatam Satarmata. If someone gives up all material things and takes complete shelter of Kṛṣṇa, there is no loss. On the other hand, a non-devotee may fully engage in his material occupational duties and no gain. No gain. You may become a perfect businessman, a perfect politician, but it's useless unless you are a devotee. So if we act for Kṛṣṇa without expectation of sense gratification, this is the highest thing. So there is no impediment. Nothing can stop you from serving Kṛṣṇa. If you do some material work, time of death, it's lost. Everything gone. The whole time becomes a failure. But if you work in Kṛṣṇa consciousness, time of death, that is what you take with you. Materialistic people take their karma, which often is a ticket to hell. Very often. They are paying their way to hell. And the devotee, he takes his devotional service. So Srila Prabhupada in one purport in Gita, he says, 1% done in Kṛṣṇa consciousness is you take at your death. Next life you start at 2%. So this is very, very special, because this verse is about devotees who fall down. Just like Jamila, he was very nice devotee when he was young. But then he left it, and he fell down. But somehow, Kṛṣṇa inspired him to call his youngest son Narayan, named Narayan. Super soul inspired him. So what happened, time of his death, he was calling Narayan, Narayan. And then after he called Narayan, he remembered the real Narayan. And the Vishnudutas came and they saved him. So we must always try to serve Kṛṣṇa. Time of death, and we may forget Kṛṣṇa, but Kṛṣṇa won't forget us. Even if we fall down, we will take our devotional service with you. Shukadeva Goswami, he prays, I am fallen into this ocean of birth and death, and I'm always praying to the Lord to pick me up. So the pure devotee loses attraction for material enjoyment, and he always thinks of the lotus feet of Kṛṣṇa. Sometimes it's hard for us. Why don't we always think of Kṛṣṇa's lotus feet? Well, when we chant japa, there's 3 types of inattention. 3 ways we can be inattentive. First thing is distraction. Our cell phone will ring, or it may just beep a little bit, and we think, oh, this is it must be important message. No, your japa is more important. So this is distraction. Laziness means, yeah, I know I'm supposed to chant now, but I'm feeling hungry. Let me eat, let me sleep. Kind of lazy. We don't want to chant. And also indifference. Even you're not hungry, you're not sleepy, but still you don't want to chant. So these are types of inattention. And if we don't be attentive in our japa, we can fall down. His Holiness Bhakti Tirtha Swami gave us 4 reasons why devotees fall down from Kṛṣṇa consciousness. 4 reasons. Number 1, aparad. You make offenses to other devotees. That will cause your fall down. What does it mean to fall down? You will get material desires coming in your heart. Second reason for fall down is pride. Just like we're hearing in Bhagavatam now about Indra becoming proud, and he actually fell down from his position. He lost it. And so aparad, pride, lack of association. This is why Maharaj Bharat fell down. What was his association? A deer. And so he became a deer. So we have to be careful what we associate with. And the 4th reason why devotees fall down is lack of knowledge. We don't know. We don't know that on this path we will face difficulty. We will be challenged. We will be tested. We may lose our faith sometimes. We may have doubts. This will happen. And sometimes devotees think, oh, maybe I'm in the wrong place. I should go do something else. So, especially we should be careful of offending other devotees. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu went to the house of drunkards, but offenders he cursed. Lord Chaitanya took the sins of Jagai and Madhai and said, whoever offends devotees will get the sins of Jagai and Madhai. So don't offend devotees, or you will have to take the karma of Jagai and Madhai also. So sometimes devotees join and they don't know why. They're just happy and they just join. And so it's apakva. You are not a ripe devotee. You're just a neophyte devotee, and they give up everything and surrender to Kṛṣṇa. But sometimes they leave Kṛṣṇa consciousness, but still there's no loss. No loss. Even if you leave, Narada Muni says, don't worry. You will come back, just like this verse in Bhagavad Gita says. You will get another chance in your next life to be a devotee. So Prabhupada was lecturing in New Vrindavan in 1969. And he said that my devotees, boys and girls who are taking to Kṛṣṇa consciousness, before that they were meat eaters, yes? We were eating meat, and some of our devotees were doing other things besides that, breaking all the four regulative principles. And these are very fallen condition. We were very fallen, Prabhupada said. So Prabhupada said, even they were fallen in this abominable condition in this life, they're tipped to devotional service. As soon as I called them, they came. When Prabhupada called, we dropped everything. I know, I was there, I stayed at the temple. Prabhupada said he was coming, he didn't come, but Vishujan Maharaj came. So I went on Harinam with Vishujan Maharaj for the weekend, and that was it. I was saying, I'm so happy, why should I go back home? I went, said goodbye to my husband, and joined the temple. My husband joined 2 months later. So we both joined Kṛṣṇa consciousness, but I joined first. So Prabhupada said, those who are joining this movement in America, they were previously Kṛṣṇa conscious. Somehow or other, they could not finish in last life. So although they're born in a country where there is no trace of Kṛṣṇa consciousness, no purity, they're taking it up. So where's the loss? No loss. So one devotee in UK, his name was Bajahari. He said to Prabhupada, I was working in the steel factory nighttime, and I almost had a nervous breakdown from the strain. Prabhupada said, yes, actually that's because your last life you were all brahmanas. Otherwise, how could you come to Kṛṣṇa consciousness so quickly? Actually, my Guru Maharaj has ordered all of you to take birth to help me spread this mission. Now we are all together again. So that's what Prabhupada said. He said that we were sent to different countries to spread Kṛṣṇa consciousness in that country. So you cannot forget Kṛṣṇa. Yeah, you may fall down, but you cannot give it up. You cannot forget. The example is given, hot sugarcane juice. I never had hot sugarcane juice. My Prabhupada said it exists. It's very nice because it's hot. You feel uncomfortable. This is too hot. But because it's sweet, you cannot stop drinking it. Hot sugarcane juice. So Kṛṣṇa consciousness is so nice, but sometimes it tastes like hot sugarcane juice. It's a little bit austere, and Maya comes and tests us. So a Kṛṣṇa conscious person, he cannot give it up. Once you say to Kṛṣṇa, Kṛṣṇa, I'm yours, Kṛṣṇa will never leave you. He'll protect you. Ainjar Prabhu, how did he join Kṛṣṇa consciousness? in Washington, D.C., there was a Harinam party going. And he heard the Harinam, and he started running after the Harinam party. And he caught up with them, and on the way he lost one shoe. He was running so fast. Devotee said, why don't you go and get your shoe? And Ainjar said, I'm not going back. And so that was it. He joined. Just following the Harinam party, and then that was Ainjar's service for life. So yes, it's last life. And once you leave Krishna consciousness, Krishna will not allow you to forget. There was one devotee in Ireland, and he left the temple because he said, oh, I have to get up so early for Mangal Arati, 4 in the morning. This is too early to get up. That was his first complaint. Second complaint, there's no toilet paper in the bathroom. So this, I can't take, I must go. So he left Krishna consciousness. He got a job in a factory. But he was doing the night shift. So one night, it was 2 o'clock in the morning. He was thinking, wow, this is worse. And then 4 o'clock Mangal Arati. This is 2 o'clock in the morning. I'm working so hard. And then he punctured one of the boxes, and out came hundreds of rolls of toilet paper on his head. So Krishna was telling him, you want toilet paper? Here, take. So, no, he went back to the temple. He said, no, it's better at the temple. So yeah, Krishna will not let you forget, and Krishna is sometimes very funny, how he deals with you, how he brings you back to Krishna consciousness. So, yes, in Chaitanya Charitamrita, Lord Chaitanya speaks to Rupa Goswami. He tells about Bhakti Lata Bij, that you get the seed, you have to water it. So, we should not think, oh, even if I fall down, it doesn't matter. No, even though here Gita says, don't worry if you fall down, at the same time, we should not fall down. We should be careful. We should watch out. We should remember Bhakti Tirtha Maharaj's 4 reasons why we fall. Don't be proud. Don't make fences to other devotees. Read Prabhupada's books, get knowledge. And what was the 4th one? I forgot. Anyway, so four reasons why we fall down. So, but even if we fall down, there's no loss. So we are connected. This ISKCON, this Krishna conscious movement, is part of the tree of bhakti. Lord Chaitanya is the trunk of the tree, if you read in Chaitanya Charitamrita. And he's giving freely. He doesn't see what is the qualification of somebody to take a book, to take the chanting. Just like Mahatsa Prabhu in Atlanta, Georgia, he's distributing Bhagavatam sets. I saw today, in one day, he distributed 4 sets to one lady. She had a grocery cart. To buy, instead of groceries, she got 4 Bhagavatam sets in her cart. So, yes, this is the mercy of Lord Chaitanya. He's empowering devotees to distribute, not considering who is qualified, who is unqualified. Who is qualified? Nobody's qualified. We are all fallen in this age. So Lord Chaitanya was thinking, I'm the only gardener. How many places can I go? How many fruits can I pick and distribute? Therefore, I order everyone in this universe to accept Krishna conscious movement and distribute it everywhere. So we have this order from Lord Chaitanya. You may think, no, I didn't get that order. No, Lord Chaitanya has given it to every single person in this Krishna conscious movement to distribute. You got it, now you give it. So, yes, in the Śrīmad Bhagavatam, there's a verse, Chakta Sadushajan Sarepsitara Jalakshmim Dharamishta Arya Vachasa Yaragat Aranyam Maya Megam Daitayepsta Anvatavad Vande Mahapurushache Charanarvindam. So Lord Chaitanya, we offer obeisances to Lord Chaitanya. He is running after the conditioned souls. Kṛṣṇa came, he said, you surrender. But Lord Chaitanya came, and he said, and he started running after us to give us Kṛṣṇa consciousness. There was a story, one of our devotees was in the American army in Iraq, or Afghanistan, I think it was Iraq, when they were fighting, having a war. And he was distributing books to the soldiers on the American side. He was distributing books. And one soldier was always running away from him, and he was trying to chase him. And he would never take the book. But then the soldier was fatally wounded. He was going to die. And he said, okay, give me the book. I want the book now. And so, yes, Lord Chaitanya is chasing. Book distributors are chasing people to give them the book. And so we have the order of Lord Chaitanya. We have come to Kṛṣṇa consciousness, now we must share the mercy. So there was another story I think I told recently, but I think maybe you people didn't hear it, so I'll tell all of you again. It's a story of a book distributor who sold a book to one man, and the man took it home, and his roommate was a drunkard. And the drunkard read one line, "For the soul there is neither birth nor death." And he said, rubbish, and he threw it. But the day came when that drunkard drank a little too much. And the Yamadutas came for him and took him to Yamaraj. So Yamaraj was saying, okay, you are a very sinful man. You must suffer. So many sins you have done, you must suffer. So then Yamaraj said, what are you going to do now? And the drunkard, he remembered that verse from Bhagavad Gita. For the soul there's neither birth nor death. Yamaraj said, okay, go back. Go back to your body. So the drunkard came back and he said, oh my goodness. He took the Gita. He read the whole Gita. He found the address, he joined the temple, became brahmachari. Real story, true story. But after 6 months brahmachari life, he said, this is too austere. I need a drink. He left the ashram, he went to the bar, and he was drinking the whole day. Then night came, and the owner of the bar said, okay, we're closing, you have to go home. And then he said, what are you going to do now? And he got such a fright. Oh, that's what Yamaraj said. I better go back to the temple. So he went back. Kṛṣṇa brings us back when we fall down. So we have to be introspective, ask, what are we going to do now for Kṛṣṇa? We must take the mercy, we must distribute it to others. So I'll stop here if there's any questions or comments.
You said there are 4 reasons not to follow the Kṛṣṇa consciousness. And there are 4 reasons.
Oh, 4 reasons. First,
one person has taken up the Kṛṣṇa consciousness sincerely, and even for some reasons, it has left that Kṛṣṇa consciousness for a short while, or it has done some mistake. Again, we will come back to Kṛṣṇa consciousness. It can be related to this matter, or once they are fallen down, once for all they are fallen down the Kṛṣṇa consciousness.
well, Srila Prabhupada was asked the question, how do we know? There's 2 types of devotees who fall down. One type, they think about doing some sinful activity and then they do it. And another type is accident. They don't think, that just happens somehow. So if Prabhupada said, if it is you premeditated fall down, then that's not good. So the devotee, but Prabhupada said, if it is accidental fall down, then that is okay. We can forgive. So devotee asked Prabhupada, so how do we know difference between accidental fall down and premeditated fall down? How do we know? So Prabhupada said, if it is accidental fall down, devotee will come back to Krishna consciousness. If it is premeditated, he will not come back. But still there is no loss. He will keep for his next life, whatever. Yes, yes. If it is accidental fall down, like he didn't think, oh, I'm going to do this, just happens. Maybe little bad association. If he comes back, it means it is accident. Yeah, so, yeah. There are two types of fall down. Two types of fall down.
Another question is that once a person has come to Krishna consciousness, and he is systematically in progress in Krishna consciousness, sometimes his mind or Maya will take back to the previous level of the Krishna consciousness, not previous episode of the Krishna consciousness, and meat eating, gambling, these and that things. So if the mind travels to the table, and still he is the Krishna consciousness, what is the punishment you have to get? Whether he is
if you mental fall down.
Mentally he is sometimes mind is varying. Suppose earlier I was associated with the mediators, or
Right.
I was associated with some girlfriend or boyfriend, whoever it may be, or I am associated with the drunkards, or I am associated. So those memories come to mind, and of course disturb the Krishna consciousness mood, but how it will have a bad adverse effect in the progress of the Krishna consciousness.
What happens if you mentally fall down? So that sounds like it's what your question is. If sometimes you think about the previous life where you were drinking or smoking or eating meat or something. There is a verse in Śrī-matām in first canto which answers your question. And that verse says that in the age of Kali, you do not get any reaction for mental fall down. But if you think something good, you will get the reaction, you will get the result. So if you think something good in your mind, you will get some positive result. You think something bad, nothing will happen. But if you think too much of it, then something will happen, because from mind it will go to words it will go to action. So we do have to try to control, but if it sometimes comes, then you just have to leave it and let it go. Let it go. Okay, finish. Yeah, I'm finished. There's no problem. I finished with that. And we have to instead we put in our mind some positive thing. Oh, Krishna is, I used to eat meat, but oh, wonderful prasadam is here, and Krishna is eating with his friends. When I go to the spiritual world, so many nice foods I will get. And Prabhupada said, you may even get 4 hands if you go to Vaikuntha. You can eat with your 4 hands, not just 2 hands. So yes, no reaction for bad memories that come up. And because of Kali Yuga, we have special concession for Kali Yuga, that we don't get reaction for bad thoughts. But we do get reaction for good thoughts. We will get the good karma. For if we think to serve some devotee, we will get that good result. We will get the same result as doing that service. So we do have to try, we are trying to control our mind, but sometimes it comes.
Thank you.
Yeah. Any other question? Okay, Jai, Ogai Shri Prabhupada, Hare Krishna.